Hello, this is James. Rejoice, my Frida people, for Konami has heard our pleas and they have given us a single dream ticket to be exchanged for any ultra rare in the first 9 main and mini box. And I know that my Frida people are looking for a little bit of advice and reassurance on which card to pick. Alright, so we're going to do this video in 2 parts. First part, quick and dirty, just the 5 cards that I'm probably going to choose from for my selection. And then after that, we're going to do the full box. We're going to go through every single card because this decision is important. But first, my criteria for these top 5 cards is flexibility. Going forward, you don't know what Konami's going to throw at the meta, so you want to pick an ultra rare that's going to improve all of your decks in new and exciting ways. And the second piece of advice is you have time. You can wait. The ticket doesn't expire for like a whole year. I don't recommend waiting that long because you do want to have fun. This is a game, but there's no rush. And we do have the WCQ qualifiers coming up. So you wanna take a look at the meta and make your choice appropriately. There's no reason to be hasty. So first, our top 5 cards are, well, first, everybody's favorite Sphere Kuriboh. Opponent monster declare an attack. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Change the monster to defense position. Hand traps are always going to be strong, and being able to deny an opponent's attack is powerful. But there's an extra use to this because now that, well, people are playing archetype decks, they don't necessarily have room for Sphere Kuribohs. People are getting fast and loose with the Econ take, and the Econ take is a strong play, but it's risky, right? They're investing 2 cards, so if you can use 1 card to block them and you get your monster back on your turn, then you're in a very good position to win on that turn. So even though Sphere Kuriboh, it's like probably the oldest card that can be picked, it's still, I feel like it still has value because of all the econ taking that's going on right now. Second is Half Shut. Half Shut, I'm biased because of my precious Amazonesses. This has great synergy with Amazoness Swordswoman. Targeted face-up monster in the field cannot be destroyed by battle this turn, but its attack is halved until the end phase. So this, in addition to getting the rebound damage from Amazoness Swordswoman, you can also use this to further weaken one of your opponent's monsters and then just like attack it repeatedly. Like say they have, okay, classic example, a Dakini and a Senju, then you use Half Shut on the Senju and then you attack it twice, and you know, potentially that's over, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 life point damage. The point is you can do a significant amount of life point damage using Half Shut on your opponent's monster. The third card would have to be, let's see here. Yeah, Cosmic Cyclone. Pay 1,000 LP, target a 1 spell trap card on the field, banish it. Being able to snipe your opponent's key card in their back row. So, like for example, Archfiend's the Call of the Archfiend or the Amazoness Ambush is going to be very strong, and it's going to be very strong going forward. Even if we get out of this meta where we have the one like infrastructure card like Archfiend, like Onslaught, like Sea Stealth Attack, being able to just snipe for free, you know, 1,000 life points, that's not that much, any of your opponent's back row and banish it, that's going to be good into the future. And then fourth, Forbidden Dress. Target 1 face-up monster in the field until the end of this turn. The target loses 600 attack but cannot be targeted or destroyed by other card effects. So this is like Half Shut. You can play it on your own monsters, but you can also play it on your opponent's monsters. So say your opponent is going to equip is gonna use some equip spells, or they're gonna power up their monster, you can use Forbidden Dress and prevent that, because it says on this turn cannot be targeted by other card effects. So you can use that to disrupt your opponent's strategy, and the monster also loses 600 attack for their trouble. And finally, Snipe Baby. You can discard a card and target one card on the field, roll a 6-sided die and destroy that target unless you rolled a 1 or 6. So you have a 66% chance of destroying any card on the field, any card. That's why this makes it into the list. It's very flexible. Snipe Baby can actually be played in pretty much any deck. I don't know if this card's gonna get power crept, like with a card that's just 1 for 1, there's no 66% chance, but this is very flexible. Again, we want flexibility when we're choosing our one ultra rare. Of these, I would probably choose either Half Shut or Forbidden Dress. I don't know if I would pick. Alright, so the first one I would pick would be Half Shut. That's definitely my favorite, but I'm actually very close to getting it out of just the main box. So I might go with Forbidden Dress, and I have a Cosmic Cyclone. So the list would be number 1, Half Shut, number 2, Forbidden Dress, number 3, Cosmic Cyclone, number 4, a second Sphere Charybs, and then number 5, Snipe Baby, maybe. But definitely Half Shut or Forbidden Dress for James personally. And then honorable mention, just because they're pushing fusion so hard, King of the Swamp is going to be good in like every single fusion deck going on into the future, because right, it does two things. It can be a fusion substitute, and it can also give you polymerization, but that's limited to fusion decks, and fusion decks are not, they like historically have not been that good. Okay, so that's it for just the truncated list. Now we're going to go into the full box. First is the Ultimate Rising box, and we have Magical Arm Shield. This lets you, if your opponent has 2 monsters, you can steal one when your opponent declares an attack and force their monsters to attack each other. Cards that require your opponent to declare an attack for their activation condition are inherently slow or inherently passive. You don't even see that many Wall of Disruptions anymore for that reason. Avoid. Magic Jammer, negate a spell, discard a card. Nah, too expensive. Fusion Gate. Fusion Gate, the most use I ever got out of Fusion Gate was for the those missions where you have to get like 3 fusion summons like in one duel, but I don't think I've ever seen it in competitive play. Autonomous Action Unit. This card is amazing, or it was. Pay 1,500 life points and then you can grab a monster out of your opponent's graveyard, but the catch is you had to put it in the graveyard to begin with. So if you did manage to destroy, their blue eyes, and you had more than 1,500 life points, you could have some fun. But this is not. Yeah, I wouldn't. This is for trolls. I wouldn't use this card. Sphere Charybs. Everybody knows this card. Whenever you want, you can say your opponent, no, you are not going to be attacking now, unless they have a Era Mage Rosemary on the field and more life points than you. But this card is always going to be relevant. That's yeah, hand traps. Hand traps are always going to be good because we don't have anything that counters hand traps. We have a lot of stuff, like the meta goes in and out of back row hate, but hand traps will always be useful. Hane, flip, select a monster in the field and return it to its owner's hand. Too passive. And then Summoner of Illusions, really only found use in farm decks. Flip, tribute a monster, and if you do, special summon a fusion. Avoid. We have better farm decks nowadays, and they're free to play. Sonic Bird, normal flip summon, you can grab a ritual spell. I don't like ritual spells. I probably wouldn't get this card. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there might be some insane ritual decks coming, but yeah, it's not broadly applicable. It only works for ritual decks, and I want splash cards. X-Raider. You know, every main box has a card that just sucks, and I don't mean like it's not good anymore. It's just like it's junk, like day one Garbo that Konami used to pad out their ultra rare roster. So obviously don't get X-Raider. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I think, yeah, the best use of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is you can put, like, you never summon it, you have it in your extra deck, and then you put a fusion tag on like some random monster, and then you use it to tribute. You use that fusion, so you fusion tag requires that you reveal Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then you tribute the fusion tag monster for Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. But Blue Eyes Shining Dragon is for meme lords, and you know, Blue Eyes Ultimate is only slightly less useless than X-Raider. From the Age of Discovery, Michizure. Activate only when a monster is sent from your field to the graveyard. Select and destroy one monster on the field. You can activate this card during the damage step. I don't know why they stipulate that. Or maybe you generally can't activate trap cards from the damage step, but it's costing you 2 cards to destroy one of your opponent's cards. That's not good for card economy. Levia Dragon Daedalus. This was a fun card when the game first came out. You can blow up your opponent's field, and for the true meme lords, you could summon the advanced version with 2 heads, but no, not anymore. No Daedalus. Mirror Wall. Mirror Wall is always going to come up, so consider Mirror Wall, because unlike, you can use it to manipulate your life points, and you can and you can keep it on the field, and it doesn't require an attack declaration like Wall of Disruption does. Stamping Destruction. If you control a dragon monster, target one spell trap on the field, destroy it, and inflict 500 damage. I actually thought that this was one of the terrible ultra rares, but again, back in the early days of Duel Links, I lost more than a few games to just that 500 damage effect. So that's good, but it's only for dragon decks. Half Shut. Okay, so this card, I really like it, and I would actually get it. I would actually just get this card because it's good with my Amazonesses, and it just has like a broad general effect. Target one face-up monster on the field, cannot be destroyed by battle, but its attack is halved until end phase. So endless synergy with Amazoness Swordswoman, and also good with any deck where you want to protect the monster. And it's also flexible, like you don't have you can play it from your hand that turn. You're not reliant on waiting a turn like you are with the super rare impenetrable attack. So I have one impenetrable attack, and I would add Half Shut to that, but I'm very close to getting it from just the main box, but maybe I want to have 2. So that's definitely on the get list. Black Pendant. Equip monster gains 500 attack. Equip spells are not good. They're too slow, they're too much commitment, and we don't have enough back row space. So avoid. Oh, and also Sprite. Sprite was banned, so you know the main benefit of having Black Pendant is no longer viable. Senju of the Thousand Hands. Grab a ritual monster from your deck. If you like ritual decks, go for Senju. I don't really, and yeah, it's too restrictive. It only works for the ritual cards. Kaiser Seahorse and Double Costin, 2 tributes for either a light or dark monster. When was the last time you saw a tribute in competitive play? Avoid. And then Garlandorf, King of Destruction, can only be ritual summoned with the spell card. When he's ritual summoned, destroy all other face-up monsters on the field with defense less than or equal to this card's attack. Was good in his day, but okay, so the thing about ritual monsters is, you know what, actually, funny story, I had a Garlandorf, but I only had one of him, and I didn't have any ultra rare gems, so I traded Garlandorf for an ultra rare gem so that I could get a Riryoku, because that's way back when a single Riryoku made a big impact on your play. But I wouldn't get any of the ritual monsters because having ritual monsters in a deck that is not dedicated to them is pointless. And in a deck that's dedicated to a ritual monster, like, you want to have 3. So I wouldn't use the dream ticket on a ritual monster. Same goes for Divine Grace, North Womenko, and I would actually say that this is the padding card. This is the junk card of this main box. And then Meteor, Black Dragon, a boring giant fusion monster. Not exciting, avoid. Rigorous Reaver, flip, each player discards a card. This card is destroyed by battle. The monster that destroyed it loses 500 attack and defense. Okay, so actually, this could do something with, you know, Gusto Griffin, but people didn't really use it when it came out, so that's on the maybe list. Tyrant Dragon, during your battle phase, if your opponent controls a monster, blah blah blah. Okay, it's like a really strong dragon. It can attack twice and negate any trap effects that target this card, and if you do, destroy the trap. But it can't be special summoned from the graveyard unless you tribute a dragon type monster. I'm not exactly sure what form that special summon would take, but it's important to know that Tyrant Dragon is not as good as he sounds. So, like, he's still subject to Mirror Wall. He can't be targeted by traps, but he can still be econ taken very readily. Okay, wait, what's this? Valkyries Rage. Escape from the dark dimension. Target a banished dark monster. Special summon that target. If there were a card that just special summoned any banished monster other than Premature Return, but Premature Return, it special summons them in face down defense position. But yeah, anyway, this is limited to dark decks. And Archfiends are not going to last forever. So I would not get Escape from the Dark Dimension. Divine Wrath, we have Ultimate Providence, we don't need a Divine Wrath. Soul Exchange, this is a big card when it came out. Target a monster, so you can sacrifice one of your opponent's monsters to tribute summon one of your monsters, but you lose your battle phase. So it's very slow, but it is a classic Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's very slow, and again, we're all about the special summons. Nobleman of Extermination, select, destroy, remove from play one face down spell or trap. If it was a trap card, both players must remove from play all copies of that card from their decks, except unless they can just like flip over the card, then Nobleman of Extermination doesn't work. Dunamis Dark Witch, boring normal monster. Dimensional Alchemist. Once per turn, you can activate this effect to remove from play the top card of your deck and give this card 500 attack until the end phase. When this card is active, destroy and send from blah blah blah. Second, when you remove from player monsters and return it to your hand. I don't remember Dimensional Alchemist ever really being used. But if you're considering getting but this has a broad effect, right? If you have monsters that do stuff when they're banished, or you have like other stuff that does stuff when it's banished, like, you know, a deck that used Dimensional Alchemist and Different Dimension Master, super rare from, I think it's from the most recent main box. That could be useful, but it's not immediately obvious. It's not like half shut, you know, just any monster cannot be destroyed by battle, have its attack. Very simple, and then that can fit into like a lot of strategies going forward, whereas Dimensional Alchemist is very specific. So if you're gonna think about Dimensional Alchemist, then I would take some time and wait on that and see what develops. Ashura Priest cannot be special summoned. He attacks all your monsters once each, but he goes back to the hand. So this was good before everybody had 15 econs in their decks, but now that they do, the Ashura Priest Big Bang Shot combo is no longer as fun as it was. Fiend Mega Cyber, opponent control 2 more monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Another card that's just begging to get econ taken. This is the Garbo card. BES, Big Core, normal summon, so you have to tribute for it, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. But when was the last time you destroyed anybody by battle, right? It's just Amazon is banish. Amazon is banish. And actually, the super rare of him is better. Crystal Core. It has like the same deal, but it also has an effect where it can flip the monsters into defense position. Avoid. Sky Scourge and Rise. This card cannot be normal summon or set. Cannot be special summon except by removing play 3 light fairy type monsters and 1 dark fiend monster in your graveyard. Once per turn. Okay, so already this is like way too expensive. This is like an end game card. Once per turn you can remove from play 1 face-up monster on the field. If you activate this effect, card cannot attack. That's actually not terrible, but it's a huge pain in the butt to get him onto the field. I would not pick that card. Desert Twister, easier to get out, but you have to discard a card to destroy a spell or trap. Remember the days when we had to go -1 in card economy to destroy stuff on the field? Before Sylvans? Okay. No, the Atmosphere, which is like the coolest card name ever. Cannot be normal summon, must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 2 monsters you control and 1 monster from your graveyard. Once per turn you can target 1 face-up monster, blah blah blah. It's like a relinquished. But it's hard to get out. I would also... So this could be a good splash card because unlike Desert Twister, there's no type. You don't have to have a specific type of monster. You can just throw the Atmosphere into any deck and then you can be like, surprise, the Atmosphere. But he's not that strong, and the effect takes up a back row slot. If it was like if you can equip as many cards as you want, like with Truckroid, then maybe we would have something, but I wouldn't get him. Alright, Chaotic Compliance. 7 tools of the Bandit. When the trap card is activated, pay 1000 LP, negate it. This is another maybe card. Yeah, it's just okay. It's not great. It's merely good. And I feel like in a lot of situations, Trap Jammer is free, but it only works in the battle phase. But it's free and it's like a normal rarity. Magic Drain, kind of like a reverse Magic Jammer. Instead of you discarding a card, your opponent can discard a card to negate it. I wouldn't get this. Eliminating the lead, discard a spell card, destroy a face-up monster your opponent controls, and then you can check their hand, and all the other cards that are the same name are destroyed. Sounds kind of good, but too situational, and you're going -2 to destroy 1 monster, and also maybe some other monsters in their hand. So -2 is worth it to destroy like a high investment monster like the Kini, but not for, you know, just not for the type of monster that they're potentially going to have a bunch of in their hand. Yeah, that's not getting. Symbols of Duty, send a normal monster you control to the graveyard. Target a monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. So this, I want to say that this is like a worse version of Autonomous Action Unit, which I love, but it lets you pick a monster from either graveyard, so that's better, but the activation is much more restrictive, so you have to send a normal monster, so it takes up your normal summon, and you have to play normal monsters, which nobody plays for good reason. So this is to be avoided. Fusion Sage, boring fusion card. Reduces the size of fusion decks by 1. I would not get. Brain Research Lab, once per turn you can normal summon a psychic support. This is specifically for psychic cards. Specifically for psychic decks, I would not use the ticket for this card. But and also I never see it in all the psychic decks that we've seen in the past months. Not one has used Brain Research Lab, and I think it's just because it's like a big giant target for your opponent to either like banish or destroy. Yeah, because it's just removed from the field, then the controller takes 1,000 damage. But you know, you could use. We got that new, I think it's a normal from Tickets, Cold Feet, and then you could prevent that effect, but 2 situational and requires a psychic type deck specifically. Gale Lizard, I like this card, but Power Creep, flip, and it's like a more powerful Hane Hane, and you can stick it in your Sea Stealth decks, but you know, Sea Stealths are beaten by Sylvans. Phoenix Gearfried, card, treated as a normal monster, yada yada yada. Activates a spell card, you can special summon a Gemini. Lots of people try to get Geminis to work, but they're too clunky. They're too clunky, and then the decks are like inherently bricky. Because unless you draw the perfect like Blazewing Butterfly combo, the deck doesn't really work, because you're trying to combine, you know, these big chunky monsters with fusions for your whatever, the Raptinius, the beast that makes everybody a Gemini. But yeah, too bricky, too situational, and specifically for Gemini decks. Blackluster Soldier, you can ritual summon this card with Blackluster Ritual. I would not get, even though we have that cool 3-star demotion Senga Relinquished Blackluster Soldier deck. This card is not interesting enough for me to get it. Master of Oz, Big Koala, Death Kangaroo. Fusion, just a big dumb fusion monster. Easier to get out than Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, but not super exciting. The Garbo card, it would have to be, yeah, I'm gonna pick the easy guy. Master of Oz, just a giant fusion with no effect. That's the Garbo card. All right, this is Land of the Titans, Yellow Baboon. All right, so both of these, they need beast type decks, and they're not that strong. When the beast type monster is destroyed, you can remove and play 2 beasts and special summon this, and then this card in your hand is in your hand or graveyard when you beast type monster you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Except during the damage step, you can pay 1,000 life. So this guy is supposed to be used with the possum card, like it destroys itself and you get out green baboon. Yeah, I would no to the baboons. Soul Resurrection, targeting a normal monster. This is only for Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes decks are not that strong at the moment, and we're probably going to have better Dragon Revival options in the future. Oh, and wait, what's this? Red City, Red something. Red something is this main box. Reinforced Human Psychic Borg, exclusive to Psychic type decks, not flexible. Red Eyes Wyvern. During your end phase, you did not normal summon or set a monster this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon a Red Eyes from your graveyard. Yeah, I mean, we all had fun with Red Eyes Slash, but Red Eyes Slash is like, that's like a good tech card for, and you know it's the best kind of tech card. It doesn't take up a deck slot. It goes into the extra deck, but not. Yeah, I don't think that Red Eyes is worth it to invest in. Gozuki, blah blah blah. It's like a princess for zombies, and I think that the the Red Eyes deck has been significantly power crept, and we don't... Gozuki's time has passed. Bro Hunter, this is the Garbo card, which I say with confidence. Normal summon, there's like this whole like chain searching, chain summoning with the family, the Pa Hunter, Ma Hunter, and Sis Hunter. For some reason, this is like an ultra rare. This is a Void, a Blazing Impachi, also a Void. These types of cards, I'm like actively annoyed when I get them as my ultra rare. Vampire Lord. Yeah, don't really see Vampire Lord. Inflicts battle damage, declared card type. Monsters. Your opponent sends one card that type from their deck to the graveyard once per turn during your next standby phase. After this card is in your possession, destroy it, sent to the graveyard. Special summon this card from the graveyard. Ugh. Okay. So again, back when we didn't have hard archetypes, Vampire, you could probably just stick a Vampire Lord in there and, you know, I don't know, get some milling on your opponent, but you don't, you know, you don't, we don't have non-archetype decks anymore. Now, every card has to have the predetermined Konami synergy for it to function appropriately, and Vampire Lord is not strong or flexible enough for me to select him as the dream. Knight of the Red Lotus, this is for normal decks or Gemini decks, but yeah, that's a Void. Dark Paladin, okay, so everybody, okay, right, we used to have the Dark Paladin farm deck, and that was like the farm deck for everything that was hard to farm, but we have all of this fantastic free-to-play farming technology. We have the Ra Kisatai deck, we have the Slifer Tethys deck, we have my personal favorite, the Catapult Turtle farm deck. So we don't need Dark Paladin, don't get him for your future farms, just rely on the free-to-play farming technology. Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. This card, I really want it, but I wouldn't use it. I just want it because, so there's this touching story of the cards where Buster Blader, he finds this like little dragon baby and raises it into like a huge dragon, and then it dies in battle. And in his sorrow, he fusions with his fallen comrade and becomes this glorious shining warrior. But must be fusion summoned, cannot be special summoned by other ways, cannot attack directly, gains 1,000 for each dragon type monster your opponent has or in the graveyard. Blah blah blah. Basically all kinds of dragon type hate, but too specific, too situational, but a very, very touching card story. Tribute to the Doom, discard a card, target a monster on the field, destroy it. This card will probably always be relevant because, you know, we'll always have discard effects, we'll always want point destruction, but you know what? I'm rethinking that will always be relevant because, like, you know, with Amazon S's we have one card removal, and the card is Onslaught, and it's always active. You know, this requires 2 cards, and then it's good in a deck where you're getting benefit from your discarded cards, such as Gusto Griffin, but it's a -2 to destroy a single monster, but it's one of those cards that always comes up. So this is also in the maybe pile. Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, the time of Phoenix has passed. We have better decks to play than Sacred Phoenix. Okay, what is this? The 6th main box, Electric Overlord. Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. I haven't seen ninjas in a while. Only works in ninja decks, do not get. Treeborn Frog, once per turn during your standby phase, this card is in your graveyard and you do not control Treeborn Frog, you can special summon this card. I really like this card, but it's pretty restrictive, and so like if I didn't have a Treeborn Frog, this would compete with Half Shut for my attention, but I have 2, so I'm definitely not going to get him. But it's pretty restrictive. Mecha Phantom Beast, you flip it over, you get a bunch of tokens. I never really understood the Mecha Phantom Beasts because they have, I don't know, they're not really strong enough. Like they gain levels by having tokens on the field. But I wouldn't get this card. Heavy Mech Support Armor. This card is normal summon. You can support your machine type monsters. Again, specifically for machine decks and not that good. The garbage card, even though I love her, even though her Japanese art is very interesting, yeah, don't get this card. There's a non-light monster on your side of the field, destroy this face-up card. This is like worse than Axe Raider or Dunamis. Or no, whatchamacallit, what's his name? Not Buster Blader, Vorse Raider. Okay, Chiron the Mage. Once per turn you can discard a spell, then just target one spell trap your opponent controls, discard the target. No. This card has been hard power crept. You don't generally get benefit from your spells in the graveyard, so -2 or a -1 to destroy your opponent's card is not valuable. So Angmarl, this is another maybe pile. When this card is tribute summoned, you can banish a spell in your graveyard and grab the same spell from your deck. So like Dimensional Alchemist, if you're thinking about Angmarl, then take your time, because I think we'll get, I want to say we'll get Monarchs in the future because of there's a Monarch card in the latest structure deck. There was some form of Monarch card, and they're hard telegraphing the synchros, so I think that Monarchs as a class might come to Duel Links. But I don't know, DK loves this card. This is maybe pile. XYZ Dragon Canyon, very specific, do not get. The Creator, I really like this card. This and Treeborn Frog are like my weird favorite cards. But I must acknowledge that the Creator is pretty slow, and yeah, just flashbacks of Gladiator Beasts. But I do like this card a lot because you can just special summon out of the graveyard without restriction. Shinado, King of a Higher Plane, like all ritual monsters, you know, don't get it if you're only gonna have one, and also like he's not that great. Spear Dragon, during battle between he does piercing damage, and then he goes to defense position after he attacks because he gets tired from flying so fast. No. Silent Magician, level 8. Level monsters had their time, and that time is now past. We have plenty of ways to destroy Silent Magician that don't involve spells. Floodgate Trap Hole. I don't like this card. I don't, not just playing against it, like I don't like it because even if you flip your opponent's monster face down, like you still have to get over the monster. And mostly what I saw this in was like stall decks, which are, to me, not fun to play. So I would not get this card, but obviously a consideration for the future. But I prefer Canadia. Canadia is not an option for these ultra rare tickets, but I like Canadia better. Defusion. Oh, yeah, you know, this is fun, right? You get your fusion monster out, and then you attack with it, and then you defusion, and then you attack with the other monsters. Given some of that ninjutsu art of transformation magic to fusion decks, but it's pretty high commitment. Book of Taiyo, Book of the Sun, flip a monster, one face down monster in the field into face up attack position. Not that good. I like it. I like the art, but yeah, it's not worth one card to do that. King of the Swamp. Okay, so this is a strong choice for yeah, because I think I'm conflicted on King of the Swamp because I do want it. Like if I weren't, again, half shut, if I weren't close to getting half shut, I would, no. Since I am close to getting half shut, and I am not at all close to getting a King of the Swamp, I actually kind of want to get a King of the Swamp, but fusion decks are never, like, relevant. Like, Konami keeps trying to say, like, oh, here, use, you know, here's these strong fusion monsters, like Buster Blader and Arcana Knight Joker, but fusion monsters are not like strong enough to justify getting this card. But it is and will be useful in all fusion decks going forward. So if you really like fusions, you know, go ahead and get this guy. Magical Something. That's not a name that inspires confidence. Spell card is activated. Place a spell counter on this card when that spell card resolves. This card's level is increased by the number of spell counters. That's like some kind of synchro nonsense. Targeted quick play spell. Yeah. Okay. Too long. Too boring. Avoid. Card Guard. I like him in my Dark type auto duel deck, but he's not exciting. Horus, the Black Flame Dragon. This card was great when it came out, but the level up monsters, their time has passed. Evil Dragon Ananta. Now I know we just got the, if you chose during the daily level up rewards, the lion alligator, it endows all reptiles with piercing. You know, you're thinking about your Evil Dragon Ananta in your aliens decks, but aliens haven't been doing so well, and this requires a reptile deck, so I would not get this. Arcana Knight Joker, hard to get out fusion monster. Once per turn during either player's turn on a spell trap, monster effect is activated, targets his face-up card on the field. You can discard the same type of card, negate the effect. So he's like a walking Ultimate Providence, but he has power, but the power is costly. And, you know, he's hard to get out, so I wouldn't get him. The garbage card, Five-Headed Dragon, sounds good, but, you know, you need a deck that's specifically dedicated to getting out your Five-Headed Dragon, and then you're not dealing with any of your other opponent's threats. Avoid, what is this? This is from Servants of Chaos. No, Servants of Kings. Man-Eater Bug, flip, destroy a monster. Target a monster and destroy it. Too slow. Dark Magician of Chaos. During the end phase, this card is normal or special summon this turn. You can target a spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand, so it's better than Angmarl because it's normal or special, and you don't need to have it in your. Oh yeah, you do need to have it in your graveyard. Anyway, it's normal or special summoned. You can only use the effect of Dark Magician of Chaos once per turn, and if it destroys a monster, banish it. Yeah, specifically spellcaster decks, I would avoid. Into the Void, exclusively for cheese decks. If you don't have like 3 of these in your deck, then you might as well not even have 1. So, no. The Cosmic Cyclone. This is another strong, broadly applicable card. So, Cosmic Cyclone, Half Shut, and the Fusion King. Those are my 3 so far. Upstart Gold Ninja, even when people use ninjas, nobody used this guy. Neo Famevel Saber is I'm not even gonna read it, it's junk. Exiled Force, you can tribute this card, target 1 monster on the field, destroy it. Hey, again, remember when we had the go minus in card economy to destroy monsters? That's a joke. Trifortress Tops. This card is like bafflingly awful. During either player's turn, if your opponent special summons 3 or more monsters, you You can special summon him from your hand. Okay. But his defense is less than 3,000. And if he's special summoned that way... Okay, he's unaffected by card effects, but he loses 500 defense during each player's standby phase. This is so horrible. Like, this is a bad card because it's situational, but this is a really bad card because it defeats itself. Saphira, Queen of the Dragons. With my free-to-play Amazonas deck, I have a very easy time beating Cyber Angels, either just banishing them or tribute taking them. So I don't know if Cyber Angels are going to be a strong deck going forward. I don't think so. And again, the same thing for Ritual Monsters applies. If you only have the one Saphira or even two Saphira, you're not getting the full value of your Ritual Monster. Gladiator Beast, nobody plays Gladiator Beast anymore. Elemental Hero Terra Firma. Yeah, there's just so many bad ultra rares in Galactic Origins. Fantastic art, love the art, but not a good card. Fusion Summon cannot tribute a face-up Elemental Hero, specifically gains attack until the end phase. No. Berserk Dragon. What I said for Nephthys goes double for Berserk Dragon. Must be special summoned. Cannot be special summoned by other ways. Can attack all your monsters your opponent controls once each. During each of your end phases, this card loses 500 attack. Basically like a ritual monster that like weakens over time. And what's the activation condition of Deal with the Dark Ruler? It's like if a level it synergizes with Phoenix. It's if a level 8 monster was destroyed like the previous turn, you can use this and then special summon Berserk Dragon from your deck. But Glass Cannon, too fragile. Oh yeah, Blades of Spirits. Elemental Hero Neos Alias, no. Great Shogun Shien. You know, if you're happy stomping people with your 6 Samurai deck in gold rank, then go ahead and get a great Shogun Shien, but not broadly applicable, not that strong. Do not get. Okay, another good splash card, Forbidden Dress. A lot of people were experimenting with Amazonuses. When Princess first dropped, people were running a lot of decks with 6 Forbidden Dress. Target one face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. Target loses 600 attack, but cannot be targeted or destroyed by other card effects. Just a good, broad splash effect for decks going forward into the future. But I would probably get Half Shut or Chalice over Forbidden Dress. I know, but we can't get no. Chalice is a super rare. Never mind. Dark World Lightning. Not that good. If you play it on, it's only really clutch on face down monsters, and then if you play it on your opponent's back row, then they can just flip it like Nobleman of Extermination, and also just avoid your Dark World decks. That archetype is done. Spell Striker. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one spell card from graveyard. Yeah, not that good. You can attack directly, you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. Maybe interesting for an OTK build, but not super great. Volcanic Rocket. This is another card that you need 3 of. I wouldn't use the ticket on this guy. Dark World, avoid. Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress. This is actually a good card. Like this has general applicability, but if you don't mind milling out your decks, if you have an already strong deck and you want to strengthen it by being able to destroy a back row whenever you want, maybe get this, but maybe pile. The Volcanic Boss Monster can only be special summoned by sending a face-up Tri-Blaze to the graveyard. Your opponent must attack And when he destroys a monster and sends it to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This is funny, but you have to, there's this whole chain with the Tri-Blaze accelerator, so too situational. Gaia Plate the Earth Giant. I do not know if magnets are going to be good in WCQ. I'm being diplomatic. I don't think that magnets are going to be good in the WCQ because you know, we're now in a banish meta. The most common deck that you're probably going to see is going to be Amazonesses, and they're going to be banishing, and so you're not, you know, you're not going to be getting as many magnets in your graveyard as you need to fuel your magnet deck. So I probably wouldn't get Gaia Plate the Earth Giant. Cloudians are an interesting archetype, but you know, if you have one enemy controller, you can kill any Cloudian. So I wouldn't get this. Gem Knight Master Diamond. 3 Gem Knights, and then he can copy one from your graveyard. But it has to be a fusion monster from the graveyard. Yeah, this guy's too hard to use. Snipe Baby. Is Snipe Baby ever going to be power crept? I feel like, you know, we're going to get a better Snipe Baby. It's going to be just 1-for-1 destruction. There's not going to be the 66% chance business, but I could be wrong. I wouldn't get it though. And 1 Red Eyes Slash Dragon. This is a great, like I said in the beginning, this is a great splash card because you can just throw it into your extra deck, and then if you're running a deck that has a bunch of warriors, so you know, probably the 2 most popular decks are Amazonesses and Destiny Heroes. You know, you can just throw in the Hex, the Dark, the Contact fusion monster for the Dark as substitute for your Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then you can just Contact fuse your warrior monsters, and surprise, you have a Red Eyes Slash. So if you don't have a Red Eyes Slash, I would get him. I would consider getting him because he's pretty strong. Those are probably the best cards in absence of other knowledge going forward. So this concludes my lengthy Ultra review. Thank you for watching.